Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. Now, for today, what can I say? We're having an incredible, super badass week because we have on the show the incredible, amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only Horatio. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. And what better way, right, to have an incredible, super start of a badass week than to be chatting with someone as badass as you. You know what I mean?
Right on.
Right on. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're going to find all of our social media. Let's follow him and let's find out why he's super badass. Now, without further more, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is how the whole dream started. Like, was there a specific moment or performance or something you saw that made you realize, you know what, this is going to be my passion now?
Acting? You were saying, how did I start in acting? Oh, we
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't know we smoked. Thank you.
Totally. So, let's start with acting, because I do know that you also do, more stuff. More stuff, basically. Yeah. So, let's start with acting first.
I always felt it within me that I wanted to be an actor. And when I was in grade school, there was a play called King Calculator. And I tried out for the lead, and I didn't get it. And so I was the understudy, third grade. And then the kid got sick 2 days before the show. So being the understudy in third grade, you didn't really do any studying. And I watched it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in the center stage over here. And when we did the play, I was really nervous, and all the parents were really supportive of me when I forgot lines or whatever. But afterwards, that feeling of getting through it and that sense of accomplishment and entertaining in the third grade really stuck with me. And that's when I knew I wanted to be an actor. Unfortunately, from that point in 1977, I believe it was, I didn't really do anything about it until I moved to South Florida, and I went to acting school in 2011. Took a little bit of a hiatus there.
Okay. And, as an actor, you often have to inhabit the lives of various characters. So how do you approach stepping into a new role, and what techniques do you use to, make the character feel authentic as possible?
One of the first things that I learned when I went to acting school was that bring more to the table so the director has something to work with. And that always stuck with me. I noticed a lot of other actors, they come out flat or nothing. Me, I'm the opposite. I'll give more. I'll add something to the character that maybe nobody saw. You understand? So I want to show that character in a way that maybe the screenwriter, the producer, the director didn't even think about, that the character could be portrayed like that. I try to think outside of the box and to get ready for any specific characters that I've ever played. I just need a moment before the scene starts, a few moments before the scene starts, to get into the character that they want me to be, that we finally whittled down. So there isn't really any special kind of process per se, because I'm kind of, what do they call that? Schizophrenic. I can be happy and sad at the same time. So it doesn't, there isn't a scene that I can't get into very quickly. Let's put it that way. I mean, acting is just in my blood, man. I just love it so much. I study it constantly, with movies and watching other famous actors, just how they get into their parts and stuff like that. To me, it's a never-ending learning process. There's always something new, always.
Okay. And what would you say that is your top 10 favorite films of all time?
Top 10 favorite films of all time. That's a lot of them. Well, we got to have The Godfather in there because I'm from New York.
There you go.
And I grew up in the construction industry, and I'm part Italian, so you can do the math there. Let's see. I also like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original Star Wars trilogy. I loved those. Let's see. What else did I like? What else? The Shining. Absolutely one of my favorite movies. Love The Shining. The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Love that movie also. Phantasm, which is another horror movie, a low budget horror movie, not too many people know about, but it's such an incredible movie. Shot on such a low budget, and the effects that they did, the way that they were able to use what they had available for them with that low budget just makes the movie amazing. And the characters, the feel, the tone, everything about it. And the lead, the tall man, as they call him in it, he's right up there with Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and all those other greats. He's just the Angus. I forget what the guy's name was. He was an Australian guy, Angus something, Angus Scrimm. He just has such a presence on screen. It's just brilliant. Let's see, what else do I like? Oh, Gladiator. Gee, can you tell I'm full of testosterone or what? What else? Oh, there is one movie that I like that's kind of like a chick flick kind of movie. It's called Love Stinks with French Stewart. And it's about a guy. You gotta watch it. It's brilliant. I mean, I don't want to give it away, so if anybody wants to watch it, but the ending is so cool. It's a chick flick until the end, and it turns into a guy flick. Let's put it that way. It's really good.
That is cool. You know, actually, one of my first films was, kind of my two first films was The Godfather and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, Saving Private Ryan was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
That was that opening scene when they had it at Normandy Beach, the D-Day scene with all that. Man, that's some intense shit, man. That's some intense scenery. One of the most intense things I've ever seen on screen. The reality of it is just brutal, man.
Totally.
You know? You can't even imagine.
Yeah, when I saw them back when I was a kid, I mean, there were a bunch of things that I didn't understand. Then later on, you know, you grow older, then I started to get and be like, oh, okay, I get it now. And yeah, it was. I mean, to me, those would be like my two favorite films of all time, between some others too. But at least those two would be like on top of absolutely, you know.
I mean, The Godfather, just unto itself, it's just so well written and well done and well acted. That's the main thing. Brando in that movie, he just nailed that character. And what amazes me the most is that Marlon Brando was only 3 years older than James Caan, Santino Corleone. You know, he was only 3 years older, but the way they did the makeup, and Brando had put the cotton balls in his mouth, so he sounded more like, I'm making that off for camera. I can't even do it. I can't even, I don't even want to embarrass myself. You understand? But yeah, The Godfather is definitely one of my favorites.
Totally. What do you think about the second one?
I love the second one also. The second one also, to me, it didn't quite have the charm of the first because it's the original. You understand? The second one, I like the way that Michael Corleone developed and everything, and I like the way that they had the intercut with the young Vito Corleone growing up in the streets of New York City and everything like that. I mean, it definitely hit its mark. It definitely, but it's slightly underneath the original, The Godfather, to me, because of Brando. You see, Brando's presence is just second to none. He also did a second movie that I just remembered right now that I absolutely love. It's called The Freshman. It has Matthew Broderick in it, where he kind of brings back the Don Corleone character, but it's a comedy.
Okay.
And it's really, really well done. Really well done.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the first one I did love it. The second one, yeah, I mean, the fact that we can also see Robert De Niro to play, you know, a young Vito Corleone. I mean, that was really cool. And the third one, I don't know. I mean, it's
what is what it is.
Yeah, let's leave it like that, basically. It is what but yeah, like the first two at least.
I mean, Andy Garcia tried his best.
Yeah.
Andy Garcia tried his best, but he just couldn't capture that magic of the first two. And, you know, by then, The Godfather had gotten old in the sense, you know, Michael Corleone had gotten older. He pulled back a little bit. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Totally.
I did like Joe Montana in it, though.
Have you watched this show
Yes.
called The Offer on Paramount Plus? That is basically kind of the whole story behind it, or how they were creating The Godfather.
No, but I have read many, many things. And like I said, growing up in New York in the 80s, when I first started the construction industry, I knew guys that were around when they shot the movie. And
Mhm.
I don't know if you know, there was an old boss called Joe Colombo.
Yeah.
He got clipped in the 70s in, what do you call it, Columbus Square Park over there. But Joe Colombo had final approval on the script. They had to submit the script to him, and wherever they used the word mafia, he crossed it
Mm-hmm.
out.
To remove
He
it. Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
don't use that word, you know? So the wise guys had a lot of influence in making the Godfather movie, which I didn't know. And then a bunch of my friends told me all kinds of stories, but wise guys lie their asses off constantly. So,
Totally, totally. Yeah. I mean, it. There was a time in which, I watched, like The Godfather, and then I got hooked into those type of films, and then I went straight to watch
yeah,
Casino, Goodfellas, like
you
those
know,
type of ones, and I was like, oh, this is great, like those type of ones.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, Martin Scorsese as well. I mean, he's an incredible director. I mean, he did a
yes.
fantastic job on those films, but yeah, they're just epic films, basically, for sure.
Which one do you like better, Goodfellas or Casino?
Goodfellas.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah,
like
I like.
Goodfellas, but
Yeah, Goodfellas was more. I mean, the performance of Ray Liotta. I mean, brilliant, and Joe
yeah,
Pesci as well. I mean, incredible, incredible.
yeah, all of them. What's his name? The big guy. What's his name? Servino, Paul Servino.
Uh
He
huh.
was excellent. And that to me right there is what makes a good gangster movie as to who you cast. Because there have been tons of gangster movies that have come out. As a matter of fact, there was a Wise Guy movie with the guy that played Salazzo in the
Hmm.
original Godfather. He was a great actor. I forget what his name is. And he was in another Wise Guy movie. And I watched the movie, and it just wasn't the same because the chemistry amongst the cast wasn't the same. Like The Sopranos,
Mm,
they nailed it with The Sopranos.
totally.
That's one of my all-time favorite shows. I actually knew James Gandolfini. I met him a few times in New York, along with Michael Imperioli, Drea, the girl that played Drea, and the guy that played Johnny Sack. They all used to come into a bar downtown off of West Broadway, I think it was. A bar called Ivy's. I don't even know if it's still there anymore. It was an Italian joint, of course. And, we all used to gather together, construction industry guys. We all used to gather together there. And then the actors used to come in to hang out with us. It was kind of like, we were hanging out with them and they were hanging out with us. They all kept to themselves and they were really nice. And James, he'd come in, forget about it. He could eat for hours. Quiet, low key, very humble. I mean, a very decent man. When he died, I really felt bad. I honestly,
Mm,
I felt bad for him. He was a wonderful. He would The Sopranos wouldn't be The Sopranos without James Gandolfini, hands
couldn't agree
down.
more. Hmm. Yeah, and it's a shame that those type of shows or films. I mean, I'm still missing every now. I mean, look, sure, we do have great films, but every now and then I
Yeah,
will be missing like those type of ones. Like they will be
yeah.
focusing into an incredible storytelling with a good cast on it, and I mean, basically like the formula when you have those perfect matches, it's brilliant. It ended up being a culture film or a
It's
culture TV show at some point.
it'll stand the test of time, and for me, that's the kind of movie that I want to make. Something
Mm,
that'll last forever. You understand? And I think that's probably true for any actor that they want to be in something that'll resonate and it'll be timeless. And it's very rare to get something like that. Very, 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 very rare.
yeah, especially these days. But yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
like it. I like it. And moving
right
back
on.
here, a little bit here and going back to talking about your acting career. Tell me, do you have like a pre-show ritual that help you to get into the right mindset before jumping in either on set or on stage?
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? Do I have a?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have like a pre-show ritual, or like what is your thing here before jumping in into either
I
stage or on
just
set?
right before I get onto it, I figured with my ego I could get onto a scene without taking a moment to get into character. And I did a pilot for HBO a little while back, a few years back, and I was talking, messing around with the crew, and then I heard my cue, and I walked into the scene, and I was like, ah, fuck.
Mm.
And then I knew at that moment I got to take a few minutes before the scene starts to pay attention and to be part of the scene before I'm in the scene to get the feel of what's going on. So when I walk onto camera, I'm walking on, as being part of the scene. So for a few minutes beforehand, I'll shut everything out that's around me and everybody out that's around me. I tell people, don't talk to me or nothing. Afterwards we can clown around. But right before I go on, I need that time to become part of something that I'm going to become part of, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Okay. And acting can be emotionally demanding, right? So how do you maintain a balance
Yes.
between fully immersing yourself in a role and taking care of your mental and emotional well-being?
Oh, that's tough. Sometimes acting, like you said, can be very taxing on a person, especially when they have demanding scenes to do it. Basically, if I'm in a lot of scenes where they're intense, like when I shot Storm Cell, I was in the jail cell with everybody. We use Storm Cell is about 7 men that are in a hold. They're randomly put into a holding cell for the duration of a Category 5 hurricane that suddenly hit Florida. So the jail has to consolidate all the inmates in case they have to go up on backup power. So when I was inside the jail cell, I had to be both mean, had to be both like sarcastic. I had to portray a lot of different kind of emotions, and taking the breaks between the scenes helped me to clear my head. Sorry, I'm babbling here. It's been a long day. When we had a scene end, I'd wait 10 or 15 minutes before the next scene if I was in it. So to clear my head, so to be able to disconnect myself from the character that I am, to become me again, and then jump back into the character, because I wouldn't be able to hold it all the way through. It really wears the hell out of me, at least anyway, to do such intensity like that. So, disconnecting, watching TikTok videos, or I play a video game called Trackmania. So if I'm on set, I'll have my computer there. I'll play a little Trackmania. It's just a racing game, you know. But yeah, that's about it.
There you go. Okay, I like it. And tell me, is there like
Like,
a particular genre or style that you haven't explored yet, but you would love to try anytime in the near future?
as acting wise, you mean with my clothes on, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
I mean, sky's the limit at this point, right? So,
But in this day and age, everybody's doing it. It's not
right.
arts films anymore. Let's see, horror. I love horror movies. They're my favorite kind of movies. The supernatural kind, the one with ghosts or demons and things like that. I
Mhm.
always wanted to be part of a movie like The Shining. I think I would make a great Jack because I see a lot of myself in that character, not in the sense of the ending part, but in the beginning parts, is to being grumpy, liking the isolation in the hotel. I live alone and everything. So whenever I watch a horror movie, I watch it in the dark. None of them scare me, unfortunately. So, playing something like, Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining would definitely be something I want to do, but not that character, a different one. Something I can make unique, like Jack made Jack unique.
Hmm. I like it. I
The
mean,
book is, but my book is 100 times better.
but I think like The Shining has like has its whole essence to it, but also it's brilliant the fact that like the whole like what I'm trying to say here is it's incredible how they managed to do like the whole storytelling to it that you got hooked instantly,
Yes.
basically, and to that point until the ending, you are even if like even I mean, at least it happens to me every now and then that even if I already watch it, when I'm watching it or when I put it, when I put it like on TV to have like a background stuff every now and then, if I turn around and I watch just one
Yes.
scene, I'll just remain seated for the whole time and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm watching this film now, you know?
Yeah. It's an amazing movie, man. You want to hear a funny story? I tell you a funny story.
Yeah, go for
It
it.
came out in 1980. It came out in 1980, and I was in the sixth grade, and we had heard that there were boobs in the movie. So we snuck from one movie theater to another movie theater when Cinemax, the big movie theaters started coming around. When they had multiple movie theaters in one, and we went in and we watched it from three-quarters on, and we were scared shitless. We were terrified, man, of that movie. We saw what we saw, obviously, but it stuck with me. And I wouldn't watch it until years later when I was older because it scared the hell out of me so much. And like I said, the book is better. I read the book 3 times, and it's got so much more detail in it. It's got so much more meat on the bone.
Mm.
I mean, the ending is completely different. And the way Stephen King writes it, he really lets your imagination run wild. He, you know, as a writer myself, the one thing I tried to do, which Stephen King does brilliantly, is paint a picture with his words.
Mm.
And that it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, and it's incredible the fact that he was able to create that, and at the same time
Yeah.
he even wrote The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I know, right? I
You
mean,
know,
it
two
totally,
opposites
I
here.
was blown away.
Totally. Yeah,
Totally opposites. I mean, at first I didn't believe it, but yeah, he wrote the Shawshank Redemption too.
totally. I mean, that film is. I mean, as I was saying, it's what. Yeah, it's also on my list for sure. The whole story too. I mean, the ending is one of the most satisfying endings of all time. I have to say that, and uh,
Yeah,
and it's a
yeah,
must watch for sure. I mean, I do think that it's a culture. What I mean, it's a culture film. You need to watch it. Yes or
absolutely.
yes.
Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman nail it. They really nail those two characters. I mean, the chemistry between the two of them is just priceless. It's a brilliant movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish I had written
I mean, who knows, right? Maybe at some point you will even write even something cool
it.
too. You know.
Maybe, yeah. I never knew.
And tell me, at this point, like, how many screenplays have you ever? Yeah, like, have you ever written?
Okay, I have right now. I have short and long. Right now, full features. I have Storm Cell, which stars Lawrence Taylor, by the way, the famous football
Mhm.
player
Yeah.
from the NFL, LT, the linebacker, whatever. Wonderful guy, incredible actor in this movie, in my movie Storm Cell. So that's one. Then I have Crazy Dead, which is an award-winning screenplay. I've won over 100 awards in film festivals. Yeah, it's just I'm pretty much amazed as to how well that it's been received. So that's two. Then I have a short film that I wrote and directed that I actually made. It's about drug addiction and a mom shooting up heroin in front of her son. It's a really hardcore. It's 8 minutes long, but it's really hardcore. Then I have a pilot that I wrote about a wise guy that gets out of the joint and he wants to change his life, but he gets pulled back into the business and whatever. He tries to move to Florida to get away from things. And then I have the sequel to Storm Cell that I started writing as to my character gets out. My character in Storm Cell, out of the 7 men inside the cell, 6 of them are defined as to what they did to get into the jail cell. My character, I never spelled it out, what he did to get in there. So in part 2, I made it so that he gets out unexpectedly by some political help, but I keep the audience guessing as to whether he's on the righteous path or whether he's just up to another con or a scam. And then I have a horror movie that I'm about halfway in that I haven't figured out exactly where I want to go with it yet. I haven't gotten that inspiration, so to speak. And then I have one more screenplay that I have 3/4 done, 140 pages, by the way, so far, about a guy that gets set up for dealing coke after his daughter dies, and he exhausts all the family funds on trying to save her, even though she was beyond saving because her cancer was terminal. He spent all the money anyway, and then he breaks away from his family. He gets divorced from his wife, and he has a son, and he decides to start dealing coke, but then he gets set up by the people that are supplying him with the coke, some other drug dealers, the district attorneys. So he doesn't know who to trust or what's going on. So I don't know how many is that, 6 altogether so far.
Mm.
There's still more in me. I just don't have to feel that magic yet.
Okay. And tell me, like, what is your usual process whenever you start written? Like, what usually triggers you for you to go all in, basically?
Each one is different.
Mm.
Each thing is different. Like when I did American Dream, it was about my own personal addictions and what went through my head. I had one hell of an addiction. Hell, I made it a career. It was so bad. So I wanted to show people about addicts, like I said, what goes through our heads, that we're not bad people. We just made incredibly bad decisions that we can't get the hell out of because we're stuck in this routine, this cycle, if you will, of drug use. And there are times when I thought, man, is there anything else in life or is this it? So anyway, that's what inspired me to write that. With Storm Cell, I got the idea when I was in jail. I was sitting in a jail cell, and I thought to myself, you get a lot of time to think when you're locked up. And I said, what can I write about that I know about? Because Mark Twain said, write what you know. And I wanted something that I knew about. And I'm like, oh, shit. How about jail? I've been here often enough. Let me form something. That's when I started forming the idea about, the hurricane and the people. And I got my inspiration from Storm Cell from a movie called 12 Angry Men with Henry Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie.
Yep.
It's from the 50s. It's brilliant. And the human drama and conflict between those 12 men is what I carried over into my screenplay. And then with Crazy Dead, I wanted to write a comedy that was funny because I don't want to shit all on anybody or anything, But a lot of comedies today, they don't have any jokes in. If they didn't have a laugh track, you wouldn't know when to laugh. And I watched a video of a YouTuber, and there's this show called The Big Bang Theory. I never watched it. It wasn't a show that was made for me. It never appealed to me. But he took scenes from that, and he took the laugh track out. And he said, go find the jokes. And I was like, oh, shit. It was just like two people talking. There wasn't really much in there. Now, this is a popular show, so I'll salute. If people like it, who am I to say anything better? But you understand, it's just not for me. But I wanted to write a comedy back in the stylings of Married with Children or, like shows that I grew up on. Like Sanford and Son, Jeffersons, Archie Bunker. Shows that were edgy, but it was okay to be edgy because you weren't really making fun of anybody. You were making fun of everybody. And there were certain things that were pointed out and whatever. But I just wanted to show, I wanted to make people laugh. And I thought, well, let me see what has not been made yet in a sitcom. And then it hit me, a mortuary. Nobody's ever made a sitcom about people owning a mortuary.
That's true.
So I said, oh, so look, here we go. Now let's come up with some characters. And that's when I came up with the characters that I placed in them. Mac, the guy that's the manager and the guy that's level-headed. He's basically the straight man to everybody else. And then we have Quentin, the gay guy, who is Mac's right-hand man. And he's witty, he's intelligent, he's funny. But he's constantly joking around, always inserting jokes when no jokes need to be inserted, driving Mac nuts with his antics. You understand? He keeps people laughing. And then there's the daughter Missy, who's spoiled. She hates the family business. She's working in a funeral home is beneath her. I mean, come on. She's 20 plus years old. She doesn't want to handle dead people. She wants to be a social influencer. And Mac has no idea what that is. It's her father. So what the fuck is a social influencer? And then we have Aunt Zelda. Aunt Zelda's character is me. It's me in Brooklyn, except an old woman who's 79 years old. The shit that comes out of her mouth will be like something that you hear on the streets of Brooklyn. She curses everybody out. She hates everybody, but she's the owner of the business. So if she wants to, she can pull the plug on everything. So everybody's got to do what she says. So I tried to set up characters like in the old days of having conflict with each other, but there's still an underlying love. Like Married with Children, the showrunners took a vow never to have a serious moment in the show. And for 10 years, they never really did. And I wanted to do the same thing. But at the same time, Married with Children, also the family, Al, Peggy, Bud, and Kelly, all had an underlying love for each other. And they all protected each other and helped each other. No matter how much they dumped on each other, they were there for each other. And that's the same thing that I have with Crazy Dead. Along with the other influence was Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you know this show, Schitt's Creek, with Eugene Levy and Daniel Levy.
I've heard
It's a
it. I never saw
Canadian
it,
show.
but I've heard it. Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's really, Daniel Levy is amazing. He's a writer too, and he acts in it, and he's the show is really funny. So part of Crazy Dead is based on that also.
Okay. Okay.
So that
And
basically, oh yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I just try to think of things, an interesting topic, and try to build on it and see if people would be interested in viewing what I have to offer. And what message am I trying to get across by showing it also? That's important to me. A lot of filmmakers nowadays, they don't have that vision of what is the message that you want to send to the audience. What do you want them to leave with? You know, what kind of a feelings do you want to take from them or give to them? You know, to have an experience. Shit, when I saw Superman in 1978, I came out of the theater like this because I wanted to be Superman. You know, it got to me so much. Or Raiders of the Lost Ark. I want to go through the jungle, man, and find relics and shit like that. You know, and that's in today's cinema, that's severely lacking. Filmmakers today make movies for themselves, not for the public. And I'm making a movie to entertain people, to take them from where they are now and put them somewhere else for 2 hours or 23 minutes in a TV show. You understand? To take them out of their lives and put them into a better frame of mind or whatever. You understand? To entertain, because that's my job.
totally. And I think that is one of the. I mean, I do think that is one of the pieces that are missing to to this day. At this day, the
Yes.
fact that, as you were saying, the fact that they are making films to themselves and not to the public.
Yes.
And it's a shame because now we will have this incredible technology and all of that, but instead of actually bringing classic storytelling, great film. I mean,
Right.
sure, some of them will be good. Yeah, I mean, some of them to this day, some films that have been released are good. But I do have. I mean, I had this conversation before that it would be great if they can get the chance to, instead of doing remakes and all of that, and all of that stuff,
Right.
being able to present new stories, take a risk, actually show us something with
Sure.
Jews on it, be able to tell us a story, a new story. I mean, with really good characters, and with a really intense
Yes.
or a really good storytelling to it, and we will get hooked to it. And it's funny because even till this day, whenever we will have like a film like that, the audience loved it, and it's like giving the answers to everybody. Like, we need things like that. Please give us more like that instead of
Yeah.
giving us the
Yeah.
recycled stuff of the recycled stuff of the recycled stuff every now and then. So
I mean, Marvel is the number one culprit with that. The last movie, superhero movie I watched was, like I said, Superman. No, the Batman movie with Michael Keaton. I did enjoy that. So I didn't give much credit to the Marvel movies. And then I sat down and I watched Iron Man. I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, it was really good also. The chemistry, the writing, the everything. But then it's just like copy paste. Now that's all we get is those kind of movies. And their budgets are like $300 million. Oh, fucking $300 million. You don't need $300 million to make a great movie. You really, really don't. You understand? You really don't. So it's like you said, this regurgitation of something that's popular, and the one to copy it, it's to me, it's mindless, it's unproductive, it's uncreative. And like you said, it doesn't take a risk, it doesn't take a chance, and that's wrong because filmmaking is all about exploring. It's all about trying something new. It's all about enticing the audience, capturing the audience's attention and everything to bring them in to your world and make them part of your world. You understand? And well, I don't want to do it anymore. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, totally. And it's a shame because I do think also like with films and TV shows, you can get the chance to talk about a specific topic, right? I mean, you can get the chance to
Yeah.
like put a topic on the table and be like, we're gonna talk about this, and that
Yes.
all that sometimes opens the door for conversation to it. And I think something like that is
Yes.
missing, especially these days, that somehow we're more divided than ever, where everybody is super
I
divided,
know.
everybody is like living, like their own thing and all of that. And the other day I was talking about that with films is like a safe space for everybody to watch it, to have like their opinion on a topic, and
Right on.
you can actually put a conversation to it. And I think that is one of the things that are missing till this day, that we don't have conversations to
Yes,
it. We
we
just
agree.
have an idea, we just focus on it, and we think that our ideal, it's the right one and the other one is wrong, period. And I'm like, no, give yourself a chance to talk about it. And you might, and
It's
once you have like those conversations, you realize that we are more united than ever, that we
yeah,
actually are fighting, and we actually are thinking the same thing, just in different words, basically.
absolutely. I mean, movie making or production is subjective. It's art. There's an old saying: "One man's floor is another man's ceiling." It might not appeal to one person, but it will appeal to the other. And you can have legitimate discussions on both ends as to why it works and why it doesn't work. You understand? There's a million things that The Godfather does get wrong. It's not the perfect movie. There's no such thing. You understand? But so there are flaws with it, and there are flaws with anything. Like you said, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to have their feelings hurt, and I can see that acting and filmmaking. People, I would imagine, are very insecure about their work. Who likes to get dumped on? Nobody. But you take that criticism and you make yourself a better writer or a better actor or a better film producer. You understand? It's not directed towards you as a person, it's directed towards your creativity. And if you're not being creative enough and the public doesn't like it, well, that's on you, not the audience. You understand?
Totally,
That's the way
totally,
I feel. Anyway.
totally. I mean, then at the end, you just have to move
So
on. You know, move on with your life.
that's it.
Right? You know.
That's it. Try better. Learn. Like I said earlier, I'm forever learning in this business, forever. And that's the way everybody should be. There's always growth. You've never reached the peak. Once you reach that peak, then you're nowhere.
Hmm, totally. And tell me, what do you think that is one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about actors?
Oh, yeah. That we're all assholes. A lot of celebrities come off, as very stuck up, snobbish. I'm better than you. Because I'm famous, I can tell you what to do or who to vote for or things like this. And we are literally the court jesters of society. We have a right to our own opinions, but we do not have the right to force them on other people and to call other people names because they don't agree with us. Not all actors are like this. A lot of us are grounded in reality. And why I stay away from political discussions because at the end of the day, who cares? You understand? It has really nothing to do with me as to what goes on. Now, I feel strongly one way than the other way, but that's just me. I focus on entertaining the person. Even if they have an opposite political view than me, I'm trying to entertain them and show them a good time. You understand? Because I want to make them happy. I genuinely want to make them happy, and I want to entertain them because that makes me feel good. Not the money, not the fame, not all the other bullshit, but entertaining somebody. And somebody can say, "Man, I really like that movie, or I really like that show." That means more to me than anything else. anything else. That's the kind of creativity that I have. Again, I'll salute. That's just me.
Yeah, but that's the thing here. I mean, in when you can actually get put two people from different ideals on a film, they actually enjoy it, they end up talking to it, and they end up you have like this, as I was saying before, you have like this conversation to it.
Yeah,
I think that is one of the problems here too.
sure.
The fact that somehow some like somehow on films or on TV shows they will have like their agenda to push you to believe to believe
Yeah,
a certain ideal or things like that. And when a film does that or a TV show does that, I'm just quitting and I'm like, you know what, this is not for me. I'm not gonna watch it, move on. Because at the
yeah,
end is entertainment. I want to have fun to it. I want to feel,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I want to have like this feeling to it. I don't want to have like this
Right.
political message to my head to think or to think
Yeah,
a certain way, because that's not the way to do it.
yeah.
If I want to learn about politics, I will
No.
go to college to it, or I will go to or I will go to a political party, think like that. But on films or things like that, I'm like,
Right.
come on.
Right. Not a lot, but there's been a substantial amount of movies that have this mantra. The movie was made to start important conversation. What the fuck does that mean? Important conversations about what? You understand? Not about the movie, but about social issues. And that's just if you want to make something about social issues, then you make a documentary because that's where you're going to start important conversations. Documentaries. A
Totally,
documentary is very well made, will get through and resonate with many, many, many people. You understand? If it's well made, shows both sides, whatever you want to show. But a damn movie, a feature film should entertain people, like you said, not start important conversations about social issues.
totally.
Sorry, I get a little
No,
emotional
no, no,
because
no. But I do
they're
get it
taking
because
away the
that's the
joy.
thing here. That's the thing here. I mean, and it's a shame that even on big franchises, whenever they release something now, they will put like an agenda to it, and whenever they do that, I'm like, come on,
Yeah,
I just get frustrated.
yeah.
I'm like, you know what,
Let's
this is not for
focus on
me.
the
I'm not gonna watch it, and let's
yeah,
just focus on the good thing, on the actual entertainment, on the old classic entertainment that
yes,
actually makes you have fun to it, even if it is like a comedy,
yes,
action, horror, drama, whatever. If it is good, you're gonna
yeah,
love it. Then that's the way. I mean, you want to. I'm the type of guy that whenever I will go to the films, I wanna be able to, once I'm leaving the the theater, to talk about the film. Like, what do you think about that? Oh, it was great. This scene with
right,
this guy, that was brilliant. I think that's the essence to it. That till this day, some films lack
yes.
that. You
Yes,
know,
they completely like that. And again, with these obscene budgets, man, once you think they had $300 million budget for a movie, I'm like, just give it 0.0%, 1% of that, and I can make my TV show. 0.01%. That's all I need.
totally, totally. And I mean,
Anyway,
I would like, for example, on streaming platforms, they will be able to get, to say, you know what, we're gonna we're gonna pay like a little extra to it, but you're gonna have this huge amount of short films, indie stuff, because back when I started, I
yeah,
didn't, I wasn't too much involved into short films or indie stuff, and when I started watching it, I was like, yo, this is good.
yeah,
They're actually pretty cool stuff here, and it's a shame because they're indie
yeah,
or they're short stuff. It's not able to go abroad abroad the whole world. But it's like
yeah,
that when I say like you could use part of a small tiny piece of that huge budget, and you will be able to create a
yes,
tons of more stories, tons of new content,
yes.
and people would actually appreciate it.
Yes. The indie filmmaker wants to get noticed, so they explore, they experiment, they step outside of the box. They do the unusual, they do things differently than what people in Hollywood do. You understand? So that's why they're way more creative and way more entertaining, some of these short films or these independent movies.
Totally, totally. And at the same time, you can get the chance to showcase your talent. So more people can
Yes.
discover more talent. That there's actually a lot of actors going on here who are as capable as an A-list one to perform and to give an
Yeah.
actual good story. So yeah,
Yes. A lot, from what I understand, a lot of Hollywood actors are getting fed up with what's going on in Hollywood right now with the agenda-driven movies and the fact that they're focusing on messaging and things like that instead of saying a creative story. I can't even think of that last movie that recently came out that I liked that was actually entertaining or gripping. I honestly can't. Endgame was the last movie that I saw in theaters. And it's a shame because there was always so many great movies throughout the years. Even movies that I didn't think were good that turned out to be really good, like that movie Love Stinks with French
Mm,
Stewart, the chick
mhm.
flick. They wouldn't make a movie like that now because the ending is contrary to what everybody believes as to the female empowerment bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of the last film I saw in theaters was actually Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh yeah, you saw that? How was it?
It was a good one. I mean, I did watch it,
Yeah,
enjoyed it. I could. I mean, I love comic book films, but this one was good
sure.
because had no agenda to it, just classic comic,
Yeah,
like old school on it, and also, I mean, you get Ryan Reynolds to it, and you can see how passionate he is about to perform and to actually give a
yes.
like a cool comic book story to it. At least to me,
Yeah.
it was brilliant. I mean, it got me hooked the whole time. So
And it seems to me that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have great chemistry together too. They play off of each other very well. I don't know. Did you find that? Did they
yeah,
did they play off each other well? Yeah. I
on
mean,
spot,
Wolverine with his character and then the sarcasm of Deadpool.
hmm
I
on
gotta go
spot.
see it.
Yeah, because I mean, as I say here, I mean, if a film that has no agenda, just some story, and like the
Yeah.
main message to that film is have fun, enjoy, I'm down. I'm good for it.
Be entertained. That's it. It's all they wanted to do is entertain. And they made what? $1.2 billion.
That's the
I don't
solution
know
here.
about you, but it seems like a pretty big of a formula right there. Pretty
That's
simple.
the thing.
Entertain, make money.
Yeah, I mean, if as I was saying before, if I want to have learn about an agenda or a political thought or all of that stuff,
Yeah.
I will go see a documentary. I will check a book to it. I
Yes.
will see an article to it. But TV show films, that's for entertainment only, and that's it. Let's
Yeah.
leave it like that.
And I mean, let's face it, everybody, most for the most part, is a good person in everyday life. You really don't have too many assholes. You do come across them every now and then, but not as many as the media would have you think. And the
Hmm.
fact, like you said, that they're dividing us with all this bullshit also is unconscionable. But the truth of the matter is they do it for money. Is a bottom line to it. And that's why it's a disgusting fucking thing, not for
Totally.
nothing. And this is coming from a guy who was a criminal for over 25 years, longer, 35 years. You understand?
Mm.
And the way that they're doing this to make money off of this kind of a division, I have no respect for that.
Yeah, it's a shame.
None. Zero.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a shame
You
here,
know?
and yeah, yeah, yeah.
And to take the film industry hostage like this, and the gaming industry too, from what I understand, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I see what's going on with the gaming. Is Concord that just came out
Mm.
that died after 2 weeks, and then the Outlaws one, the Star Wars Outlaws or whatever, man, that died also.
Yeah,
And
that's
then they
horrible.
have the ultimate one, the Assassin's Creed, made in Japan. It's in Japan, and then they got black guy. You
Yeah,
think what? Did anybody think to themselves? You understand?
yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
it's
I
just why they do things like this. I just don't understand. Other than the fact that it's money, they have their own agenda and they don't care about anybody else but themselves and their bottom line.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
About the last Assassin's Creed they're gonna release that is in Japan. I saw an article this morning that the
yeah,
Japanese culture, yeah, yeah, the Japanese people are making fun of it. They're actually complaining it, and they were saying, Ubisoft, who is the company who's making it, they were saying like, no, 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 we are being super respectful to it, and all of that. And the Japanese were like, no, you're not. You're putting
yeah,
animals that were not even in the era or even in the country at that time. Like all
yeah.
of stuff. Let's be honest. If you're gonna make an actual cultural representation, do it right. Or if not, don't do it at all.
Yes.
Problem solved.
I know. Don't piss off an entire nation, man. And the fact that they based this black character on a Wikipedia page that turned out to be all made up. The guy that did the Wikipedia page wrote some book that turned out to be a lie. All of it. You understand? So
Mm,
none of this is based in any kind of fact whatsoever. And I've never played Assassin's Creed or anything. The last game that I played was Resident Evil in 1999, and I just started playing
okay.
it again now. The first one,
Yeah.
I'm still on the first level, 9 hours, and I can't get my way out. But I enjoy the game and I enjoy playing it. I enjoy the atmosphere of it. Now you're gonna do an Assassin's Creed in Japan. People will say that's really cool with the Yakuza and all the warriors that they had, your tradition. I mean, shit, Japan is dripping with tradition. You understand? And then you're gonna take them out of their own culture and stick somebody else in there. I thought, what are they doing? What's going on? Again, it's based on an individual's agenda and the money that they're making off. It's all a scam. And then the fact that who was it that they did? There was during the I just saw this recently. There's an arch, or what's left of an arch after the Hiroshima bomb dropped.
Hmm.
Nagasaki. I think it was Nagasaki actually. And in the sacred temple, only an arch was left. Ubisoft put it out as some kind of a trinket or toy. And that really set the Japanese off. To them, as Westerners, we don't understand the meaning, but to having survived Nagasaki and fucking atomic bomb dropped on your head, and then your sacred temple is blown up, but this one part still stands as in strength and the courage to move on and persevere and everything. And they put it out as a fucking trinket, as a toy. Like it means nothing. Man, I like this. Anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get emotional like this,
But that's the thing here. I mean, it's a shame that they are taking advantage of, that they're basically kidnapping that, and they are trying to put us like this new era of content or this new era of things, putting us ideal, yeah, like putting us that in which. I mean, fortunately, there's people
Yeah.
like us, which were like, no, 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 no. We want the old, well, we want the good stuff here. If I'm gonna pay,
Yeah, the things
because
that I mean, the
yeah, yeah,
gaming industry is no different than the moving industry. Your gamer immerses themselves in their game. And from what I understand, even more so than in a movie, they want to become disconnected and use chainsaws to butcher people or to make a little guy, Mario, run across something. People get joy out of it. They're making games for themselves and not for the gamers.
that's the thing here.
Again,
That's
what's
the
the
thing
thing?
here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're
It's
making it for themselves. And it's
yeah.
evident in the amount. I mean, how much money do they need to piss away before finally somebody says enough or they go completely bankrupt? I mean, even Disney is not a bottomless corporation. They survive off of their parks where they make their money. But see, the movie industry
Mhm.
can afford to take hit after hit after hit because Disney's not going anywhere. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
yeah,
They
that's
have
true.
a lot of money, shit ton of money. You understand? But the fact that they're alienating their audiences with these garbage movies, movie after movie after movie, and pissing away all this astronomical amount of money, but ruining their credibility is what boggles my mind. I thought of Disney fondly. I went to Disney World in 1976, a couple of years after it opened up. I was blown away, man. I mean, I had Mickey Mouse bed sheets, Mickey Mouse this, Donald Duck, all of this stuff. Now I look at Disney and I'm like, hey, get this shit away from me. I don't want to know nothing about it, man. I don't want to be associated with none of this. You
Yeah,
understand? Like, what
that's the
is
thing here.
this? And
Yeah, it's a
you
shame.
take that away from that child, man, fuck.
Yeah, because they're taking away the fun of it. As we were saying, it's simple. Just leave the fun of
It's,
it, make it simple, make it, and actually people are gonna love it. And with the gaming industry too, I mean, it's a shame that things, that video games are and going to the theater too. It's kind of expensive every now and then, and I don't want to spend my money on something that I'm gonna end up hating. You know what I mean? So, what ended up happening now is that one, either I will watch old stuff or I will play old games, or two, I
yeah,
will be absolutely sure that whatever I'm gonna be, yeah, whatever I'm gonna buy, be absolutely sure that my money is gonna be well spent and not be thrown
yes.
away and be like, what the hell am I watching? You know?
Yeah, exactly. That you're investing your money and your time, and that your time will well spent either watching or playing whatever it is that you took that money to spend it on.
Totally.
And fuck, it's a crapshoot nowadays, and mostly you come up empty. Again, that's why I wrote Crazy Dead to get back into that same kind of comedy where I'm pissing everybody off and nobody else. You understand? None of my characters. I have a gay character in Crazy Dead, right? He's gay, but he happens to be a gay guy that works in a mortuary. You understand? He just happens to be gay. There's nothing in his character ever that comes out as the fact that he's preachy or anything else. I do not have any political messaging. And I wrote the character in. I got a good friend of mine. He's a gay guy, big guy. He's like 6'7", bartender. And we got a running bet going for the last 12, 13 years. He's going to turn me gay before I turn him straight. Neither one of us has budged an inch. But he's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And I knew a lot of gay people up in New York in the city, and they were hilarious. They're always having a good time. They're laughing and everything. And I thought that'd be a great character to put into my sitcom. You understand? He just happens to be gay, but he's witty, funny. He has little gay tendencies, maybe. Not too much, a little bit. Like Daniel Levy in Schitt's Creek, but a little bit more toned down. Just a little bit more toned down. You understand? And anyway, I tend to ramble. I'm an old man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And tell me, like, what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we want to quit. Or things get complicated. We feel at our worst moment. So how you stay focused on a time that perhaps might be difficult on your personal life, let's say.
Yeah, that's a good one, man, because that definitely happens. But I just want to say to hell with everything, man, because it feels like you just keep running into brick wall after brick wall, and then you start to doubt yourself, and I start to doubt everything. I just focus on the fact that this is what I want to do. This is it for me. Like I said, I'm 56 years old. I don't have a retirement plan. I don't have a family. I ain't got nothing. I got no guts. I have the entertainment, and I've always had a love for it, as I told you. And I don't want that fire to be extinguished because of my self-doubt or the situation that I'm in, or there's hard times. That passion that I have for entertaining people and making people laugh. I'll tell you another funny story. I'm at Publix, the grocery store down here in Florida, and I'm with my ex, and she had forgotten something, and the check cashier is just about to start taking our stuff. So she runs down to the store, comes running back. She's all out of breath. And then she gets back to the cashier. I turn to her. I go, look, lady, stop following me. You stop stalking me. The judge gave you a court order to cease and desist. You're supposed to stay 100 feet away from me. And I'm saying it pretty loud. My ex looks at me, and she doesn't know. And then she's like, fuck, because she knew I was into one of my jokes. And then I had the whole place over there, the whole Publix in that area and stuff, staring at her. And I told them, nah, man, I'm only joking. I mean, I like to entertain people for that. They didn't get a laugh out of that one. But that's the kind of things that I like to do, to say a joke to somebody that's a cashier, to make them laugh, maybe brighten up their day.
Mm, I like it. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax
Sure.
after an incredible, super
Sure.
badass conversation here. So here it is. What do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
For this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a good one, man. Oh, that's a good one. Crazy old man rants. Best thing I can say is that this episode is about fundamentals of the film industry, entertaining to entertain people. Entertainment for the entertainment of people. Show the best title. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Take your time. I mean, this question usually takes, it usually takes time. So
yeah, I bet it does. Well, I guess the best thing is that it's never too late to follow your dreams.
I'll take it.
Being that I waited so long to do what I did in life, it's never too late to follow your dreams.
There you go.
I'm 56 and I'm following my dream finally. I was an architect for over 20 years in New York City. And then I went into food service industry. I was going to open a restaurant, so I started to become a chef. And then I sold motorcycles. So I did a lot of other things instead of acting. And now I decided, 56, I'm alive, I'm creative, I still have rational thought, although some might argue. So I'm following my dream. So it's never too late.
There you go. That's the thing here. I mean, at the end, never too late. So I like it. I'll take it.
No.
There you go.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, at the end,
Thanks,
what can I?
man.
At the end, what can I say? The fact that you're doing it, that you're actually making it happen, that you're actually showing results. I mean, that's incredible. That's badass. But also, it shows out there that at the end, it's time. I mean, when as long as you're alive, you
Yeah.
still have time to pursue something you want in life. It's never too late. So
Yeah. And it's like, don't let insecurities, hangups, or more so, other people bring you down. Always stay true to yourself and stay true to your dream. And follow that little voice. Follow it to the end till there's nothing left inside of you anymore. And like with me, with the entertainment industry, that'll be till the day I die. Maybe even a week after that, too. Because then it's in me, it's a burning passion, and I won't let anything negative or any bullshit stand in my way. I don't care what the situation is, there's always a solution to it. There's no dead ends. You understand? Only solutions.
there you go. I love it.
And if I keep doing it till the day I die, then I can die a happy filmmaker and entertainer. Whether I made it or not.
I love it. And yeah, thank you for making this happen, man. This was really cool and incredible chat here.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
thank you so much
Thanks, man.
for making this happen. I also want to thank those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below, but also make sure to go check on Horatio work here. I mean, as we find out why he's super badass. And again, man, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep doing what
Thank
you
you
do.
very much.
And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thanks, Dad. Bye-bye.
All right.